Hello, everybody. It is Monday at 7 p.m., and that means it's time for 62 Who Knew. This is our 16th episode, and tonight we're going to do something a little different. A couple of weeks ago, we had comedy for the first time. This time, we're going to do a little different in preparation for the new year. We'll get to that in a minute, but we're going to start, as we always do, with a little synopsis of what 62 Who Knew is about for our first-time viewers. 62 Who Knew was created because this particular generation, my generation, I'm 60 years old, as we approach the age of 62, we are facing an obstacle, sort of what we call here a double-edged sword, a mixed blessing, that no other generation has ever faced. Every generation, as they have approached retirement, always has pretty much the same thoughts, I'd say, at least for the last 100 years. Have I saved enough money to live a good life, a quality of life during retirement? Do I have a proper amount of insurance? Do I need insurance? Do I need long-term care insurance? What will my income be? Should I have let that life insurance policy go? Should I take my Social Security at 62 years old, or should I defer to a later point in time? The questions never end. You try and prepare for your retirement as throughout your whole life, but the truth is when you hit that 60 number and you're approaching 62, that's when it hits. And every generation pretty much asks the same questions as I just did and many more. But this generation, as I said before, is facing a different type of obstacle. And what is that obstacle? You would think it's a great thing, and it is. Longer lifespans. People are living longer. The medical breakthroughs, the scientific technologies that have taken place in the last 30 years are just unparalleled in our history, making us, most of us, or at least a good majority or a good portion of us, to live to be 90 years old. So let's think about that. If you're 62 years old, and the odds are at least even money that you're going to go to 90, that's 28 years. That's almost half the time you've already been alive. And the truth is, only 1% of this country is prepared to live for 28 years financially and have a high quality of life. The other 99% of us are still trying to figure it out. So 62 Who Knew brings every week, we hope, a different aspect of how we can live that 30 years with quality of life. And today we're going to go over some of the things that we've covered in our first 15 weeks, from insurance products to financial products to mortgages to in-home care. I'm going to give you just a little synopsis of what we've done in the 15 weeks. Then we're going to tell you what we're going to do, how we're changing the show, not the premise of the show, excuse me, not the premise of the show. We're sticking almost to exactly what we're doing, but how we can become or evolve into not just a source of information for all of our viewers, but a source of business, that if you see one of our shows on a certain topic and that topic touches you in a personal way, whether financially or emotionally, we want you to be able to go to the new 62 Who Knew website that will be live on January 2nd and go, I saw the show on long-term care. Click. I'm in Akron, Ohio, and I need an expert to talk about, because I'm sitting here in beautiful Port Richey, Florida, and I have many friends in Florida that do long-term care insurance. But throughout the country, no, I don't. I have some. So whether you're in Clearwater, Florida, or Akron, Ohio, or Newark, New Jersey, or Alaska, we want our viewers, who are now, by the way, at 20,000 plus per week. 15 weeks ago, we were at 0. 15 weeks later, we're at 20,000 plus per week. And what we're going to discuss tonight for the entire show is how we're going to take that 20,000 and literally increase it tenfold, no exaggeration, to 200,000 per week. And how we're going to reshape the 62 Who Knew website to be a source of information and service to the people in our 62 Who Knew audience, which I hope one day becomes the 62 Who Knew community, because we're here to stay. Our last 15 weeks of success says we need to do this, and I am so happy for the way this turned out. So that's what we're going to do this show. It's going to be a little unusual, and in the middle of the middle segment and for most of the last segment, I'm going to be putting a call out to people that want to join the 62 Who Knew community from all aspects of the business and financial senior world. And that's going to be interesting. So I've always hoped that the great majority of our audience are consumers. 62 Who Knew is in fact a consumer forward-facing website and TV show. But I hope a portion tonight at least, or always, but especially tonight, are professionals, are financial planners, insurance agents, elder law attorneys, real estate agents, mortgage professionals. The list goes on, and we're going to talk about that in the second, third, and fourth segment. But for the rest of the first segment, and I know the first segment usually goes very quick, we're going to talk about what we have done the last 15 weeks. And that will catch a lot of people up who have never watched before or who just started watching. Now, always remember, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is obviously 62 Who Knew, and see all 15 episodes, because there's nothing better than spending 15 hours in a row watching this show. I know that's what you're all thinking. But over a certain amount of time, if you'd like to see our past shows and how we've developed and how we've gotten better and how I hope we continue to get better, you can go to our YouTube channel and see all the 15 shows. So let's quickly, and I mean quickly, take a look at what we've done and what we're proud of, and say thank you to the people that have been here to bring us from no viewers week one. Before we started, we had good viewers week one, up to 20 some odd thousand per week now. So in episode number 1, hard to believe that was 3 months and 3 weeks ago, but it was. We had Dr. Lisa Marie Kennedy, an award-winning and author real estate agent, and we had Mark Goldberg. We touched the first few shows, actually it was the first 4 shows. We did an hour show, just like we do now, but we had 2 guests the first 4 shows, 30 minutes each. With Dr. Kennedy, who was one of our more popular guests, we brought her back just a few weeks later. We talked about the psychology and the difference of selling homes to seniors, or at least baby boomers, sometimes they don't want to be seniors, to baby boomers who are moving to Florida, or in fact anywhere in the country, and how the psychology and how their needs were different. And we touched on it for 30 minutes. It was very popular. I think Dr. Lisa Marie Kennedy was one of the big reasons that we had over 3,000 viewers in our first show. I was hoping for more than 100, and we ended up with 3,000. But Dr. Kennedy brought up such incredible stuff, and we'll go over a little bit more of that in a few minutes. Our second show was a second guest of show 1 was Mr. Mark Goldberg. Mr. Goldberg is a nationally known long-term care insurance figure, and is just very well known for his expertise throughout the country. And although I thought I had a fair knowledge of long-term care insurance, every time I hear Mark Goldberg speak, I learn more. And he went over some chilling numbers and statistics about people not having long-term care insurance, and what a perfect topic for a show called 62 Who Knew, because we are going to make it to 90. And if you think you're going to make it from 62 to 90 without a little help from your doctor, which is very expensive, if you think you don't need long-term care insurance, you're wrong. It's just that simple. So that was our first show that got the ball rolling. In show 2, we had Miss Ann Rogers, who is a certified senior relocation and transition specialist. And we learned not only does she do it here in the state, but we've learned that there were other people that are transition specialists. I'm in the mortgage business 36 years. I didn't know we had transition specialists for when a senior wants to move and their children and grandchildren are not in the same state. This specialist steps in and helps with everything, not just from the sale of their house, but with the packing, with the sale of their furniture. What do they want to keep? What do they want to give to charity? What do they want to give to the children and grandchildren? It was a great show, and Ms. Rogers continues to be a supporter of the show, and we did very well. Okay, we have 30 seconds, so we're going to just go for our second guest on that show was Mr. Ibang Eka, a staggering economist and motivational speaker from Washington, D.C., and that rounded out. We talked about the ramifications on the economy, on the insurance world, on your premiums of living to 90, of longer lifespans. The first segment always goes so fast. When we come back, we're going to start out with show 4 and get through that as quick as we can. Let's take our first break.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist. Dr. B.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
and they also teach us how to take care of our teeth
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
A Becality free.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
How you doing? We are back, and we are summarizing our guests and what we've accomplished here on 62 Who Knew. And I don't want you to think I'm spending a show just to pat myself on the back or to pat my guests on the back. There is a reason for my madness, and we'll get to that. So on show number 4, we tried something different. We tried a call-in show. We tried that for 2 shows, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. Actually, the president of WeBeam TV and our producer, John, Mr. John Gaston, said, Michael, it's a dumb idea. Don't do it. But I went, no, I know what I'm doing. I always say that, even though it turned out wrong. We didn't get the call-ins that we wanted. We had a lot of fun. But on show 4, we had an extremely popular elder law attorney, Mr. Joe Pippin. He actually has the longest running radio show on elder law in the state of Florida, probably in the southeastern United States. I think it's been on for 34 years. That was a wonderful show where we learned about trusts and estate law and all sorts of things that he takes care of. In show 5, we brought back Mr. Mark Goldberg from show 1. We got so much interest in what Mark had talked about in show 1, but he only had 30 minutes. And when we went into the long-term care subject topic, he brought up again some chilling statistics about the caregivers of people who need the long-term care and the percentage of caregivers that actually predeceased family members, predeceased the people they were caring for because of the stress and emotion. And there's help out there. And he brought up those options. It was an incredible show, and we got a lot of great results. In show number 6, which still blows my mind, we had Mr. Richard Ensline, who is a senior vice president of the Weizmann Institute in Israel. And we learned amazing things about breakthroughs in science, stem cell therapy, cures that are upcoming. And he pretty much guaranteed us, not in writing or anything, but with the breakthroughs that the Weizmann Institute is having in Israel and other institutes like Weizmann throughout the country, that living to 90 in the next 10 to 20 years will seem like nothing. It's going to be 100 or more. We may have to change the name of the show from 62 Who Knew to 88 and Still Living Great. We'll deal with that then. But think about that. Not living to be 90, living to be 100 with quality of life. It was a staggering show, and on the new website we hope to have a link right to Weizmann Institute so we can keep up with the breakthroughs that they're doing. In show 7, we brought another long-term care insurance giant into the show, Mr. Bill Comfort, probably known as the top educator in the long-term care insurance world. Just a totally gifted man who speaks with such emotion and such passion on that topic, long-term care. As a public speaker myself, I learn every time I listened to Bill Comfort speak. And he brought us up totally different scenarios, a different viewpoint of what long-term care is. And again, we had such tremendous results to that long-term care show. In show 8, I finally did it. I didn't want this show to be looked at as a reverse mortgage show because my national reputation is in the reverse mortgage arena. So I waited 2 months, and in month 8, we spoke about reverse mortgages. And again, I got calls and emails and texts from all over the country with more questions. And I was able to answer those questions. I enjoyed answering those questions. But my mortgage company is only licensed in 2 states, Florida and New Jersey. So I wasn't able to help the majority of these people with their reverse mortgage needs. I was able to arm them with education, with correct answers, but then they went out to who knows who, which is why I'm going to be looking for a national reverse mortgage partner, or at least regional, more than one, when we talk about partners in 62 Who Knew. In month 9, why do I keep saying month? I don't know. In show 9, we actually talked to the Regenerative Health Center of Florida that has 10 different branches, whereas we spoke to the Weizmann Institute about the theories of gene splicing and stem cell research. Here was a regenerative center that is doing it. People coming in on crutches and wheelchairs and leaving on their own 2 feet. Amazing stuff. It was an amazing show. Show number 10, we brought back Dr. Lisa Marie Kennedy to spend a full hour on the psychology of what seniors need and want. She brought up things like they're not really that interested in school zones. They're interested in the closest golf course or being on the waters for their boat. So many different things. But it was a great hour, and it was one of our most watched shows. Show number 11 touched me. Show number 11 was Miss Carol Roth, who, among other things on her resume, she has a staggering resume, she created the book called Future File Legacy Planning, a book that has everything that your children need to know when you're gone. I'm not going to go over too much of it. It was a staggering book. I've already done it for my children. I've never seen anything like that. And thank you, Carol, not only for being here, but for agreeing on the new website, the new 62 Who Knew website, to offer that at such a good price to people in our 62 Who Knew community. You will be very surprised on the service this book creates for your children. In month 12, in show 12, we were having a hurricane, and we didn't do a show. We did a repeat. So we cheated on week 12. In week 13, probably our most popular show to date, we had the #1 retirement income specialist in the nation, Mr. Tom Hegner, who talked about immediate income annuities. So many people hear that word annuity and have evil thoughts, and that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. But what Mr. Hegner brought to us was his theories and his philosophies on retirement, which basically are, let me bottom line it, a quality retirement is not about assets, it's about income. And I'm not going to do the topic disservice or Mr. Hegner disservice by trying to go into depth by that. But I am not exaggerating when I tell you several of my friends the next day said, Michael, we're calling our financial planner and we are buying immediate income annuities. How many other people in our audience wanted to do that? We want to be able to help them. In show 14, we went totally the different way. After 13 weeks of seriousness, you're going to live longer, you're going to go broke if we don't help you, it's going to be terrible. No, we don't do that. But after 13 weeks of the downside of the double-edged sword, we brought in a close friend and just an incredibly funny man, a national comedian and a personal friend of mine by the name of G. David Howard. And at 80 years old, G. David is still filling rooms across the country, entertaining at full strength. And that's one of the advantages of longer lifespans, is to be able to do your passion for many, many, many years. And G. David is certainly doing that. And we had over 26,000 viewers watch our first lighthearted comedy, 62 Who Knew. And although there's so many serious shows that you could watch, if you want to watch one and smile and laugh for an hour, go to show number 14 on YouTube and watch the one with G. David. It'll bring a smile to your face. And then, of course, we had last week's show, Miss Carol Golden, also a giant in the long-term care world. But Carol is heading an endeavor with NAIFA, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. That incredible organization with 25,000 plus professionals in it throughout the country is starting a forward consumer-facing website all about long-term care. There hasn't been a massive one like that ever. And again, with longer lifespans, it was just 62 Who Knew at its best. So that is our last 15 weeks. That's what brought us from what I hope to have 100 viewers on our first week to our record of 26,000 and always being above 20,000. And I'm hoping in November that's closer to 30,000. So I want to say thank you to all those people that I just mentioned. Thank you for coming on a little unknown show. You didn't know whether you were going to have any exposure from it. You didn't know if people would like it on your website, but all of them put it on their website. They put it out on their social marketing platforms. A lot of them were friends. Some of them were strangers that were introduced to me by friends. So thank you so much to those 14 or 15 guests that allowed us to grow where we are today. So now what are we going to do going forward? We're going to take a drink of water. That's what we're going to do. When I started this show, when I started the theory, the philosophy of 62 Who Knew, which was several years ago, I really thought it was going to be almost a public service show. We even talked to public TV about it. Did I hope, as an entrepreneur and president of a mortgage company, that it enhanced my reputation enhanced my speaking engagements? Of course I did. Did I hope I could sell more books? Because I wrote a great book that we never talk about, but we will one day soon. Yes, I did. I'm a capitalist, but on a whole, I wanted to give back. I wanted to have people know that even if they didn't buy their long-term care insurance earlier in life, they still had options. I wanted people to know that when they are buying a house, there are real estate agents out there with the SRES designation, Senior Real Estate Specialist, and that's who they should be going to. Yes, I wanted them to know, not just for myself and my company, I wanted them to know that reverse mortgages are not the reverse mortgages of time past, that they could help maintain and in many times increase quality of their life. We have about 10 seconds left. God, it's going quick, but we're going to continue this as soon as we come back from our next break. Thank you.
Onesie that loves going to the dentist.
Dr. B.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
A brutality free.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
Hey, we're back. We ended the second segment. We're a little behind schedule. I was hoping with no guests and me controlling the flow, we'd be right on schedule. But sometimes I talk a lot. I don't want to go through all 15 again, stating to you the obvious. I want 62 Who Knew to be able to take the topic of the week and not only inform our audience, I want to help them access that topic not only in an efficient way, but with a partner that I know will have the integrity and the honesty that we're trying to present here in 62 Who Knew. And that is, so what we're going to do as we switch cameras is I want to talk about partners that I am looking for on a national basis. Partners, sponsors, be part of our community, whatever you want to call it. So let's start to talk about a few of them. Let's start with the insurance world. You know, we have had 3 guests in 15 weeks to talk about long-term care insurance. This is a special place in my heart, not because I sell long-term care insurance. I'm not an insurance agent, but because about 14 years ago, my dad has been gone 13 and a half years. That's what my book is about. We'll talk about the book at another time. But my dad and I had a fantastic relationship, and we were inseparable. And Dad went from the healthiest, one of the healthiest 80-year-olds you ever want to see. I have pictures in my office of my dad jumping waves on my jet ski in his mid-70s. But at 80 years old, there was a heart attack, and then another heart attack, and then suddenly congestive heart failure, and then suddenly diabetes, and things weren't so good. And he was living in my house. And, of course, Dad had Medicare, and, of course, Dad had a Medicare supplemental policy. And being such a smart son, I thought we were set. That's all we needed. I couldn't believe how wrong we were for the different procedures that Dad had, where they said, yes, he's covered with his physical therapy if he stays in the hospital or if he stays in the facility. But Dad wanted to come home to be with his children or grandchildren. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not covered. Now, and so many other things that went into that last year of his life, where we maintained a great quality of life for my dad. Not complaining about the last year, but it did hit me 14 years ago, so I was 46, thinking I knew a lot about the world, that we were blessed. Business in our mortgage company, Dad was my partner for our whole lives. Business in the mortgage company was good, and I was able to cut a monthly check for what Dad needed, whether it been 24-hour nursing at home or just just a helper to be there when I was at work, somebody to cook, somebody to help him in the bathroom, and it was a healthy check every month. Quite frankly, it was between $6,000 and $12,000 every month for the last year. And I remember saying to one of the nurses and feeling bad about my ignorance, what do people do that aren't financially able to hand out $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month? And they all looked at me, each one that I asked, and said, their parents stay in a facility. They don't have the comfort of their own home. They don't have somebody there to bring them a cup of tea when they need it. So I became obsessed with long-term care insurance, even though I never entered the industry. Because one of my trusted friends said to me when my dad was in his 50s, get your dad long-term care insurance, he's going to need it. And like so many people, I went, nah. Are you kidding me? You pay your premiums forever. You very rarely need it. Oh my God, it's nursing home coverage. And that person, very, very intelligent person, looked at me and said, it's not nursing home coverage. It's anti-nursing home coverage. Trust me, Michael. And I did trust him, but I didn't buy it. And I regret that to this day. So I am looking for long-term care insurance providers, retail agencies with a large sales force around the country. There's not many that cover the whole country. I mean, there's the big biggies, but they may not be interested in little 62 who knew. But I want a retail sales force that when we have a... John's handing me some water. You don't have to be secret about it. Thank you. Thank you, John. I want, when we have a show that pertains to that, to be able to go, for those people to be able to go to the 62 Who Knew website, under insurance, drop-down box, long-term care insurance, enter your zip code, your city, your state, and I want a 62 Who Knew partner to be able to talk to that person, someone we trust, and we will check out these partners. I promise you. I want the same thing for life insurance. I want the same thing for Medicare supplemental policies, final expense insurance, which we haven't spoke about yet in the show. Excuse me. but can save you and your heirs, your children, not only money, but aggravation and stress at the time they need it the most. I want annuity specialists. Yes, we had Tom Hegna, who's one of the best in the world, but Mr. Hegna isn't going to sit down with somebody in their living room and sell them an annuity. He's a worldwide speaker, economist, television personality. I'm sure he does sell annuities, but he can't take care of our ever-growing audience. So I want immediate income annuity specialists throughout the country to contact me. I want SPIA, single premium immediate annuity experts to contact me. And I'm sure there's other insurance, since I'm not an insurance professional or a financial planner, I'm sure there's other things I'm missing. If you can think of something that I'm missing, contact me, either through the 62 Who Knew website, which we will put up. If we could put up my email sometime during the show, John, I'm sorry, my bad. I forgot to ask you. My email is mbanner@62whoknew.com. Contact me and say, Michael, here I am. I'm in Toledo, Ohio. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm in Far Rockaway, New York. This is what I do. I want to be part of the 62 Who Knew community. Now, other than insurance, we have other things to talk about. Let's talk mortgages. Regular mortgages, conventional mortgages for people below 62. I've never understood why people in their 50s have 30-year mortgages. Why? You're trying to retire in your 60s. You don't need a mortgage payment in your 80s. There is so much things we can do for people in their 40s and 50s in the conventional mortgage world to be part of your retirement plan. So when you get to 62 or 65, the mortgage payment is gone. Not just on your residence, but on your vacation home. How about your rental homes? How much more positive cash flow would you have if there was no mortgage on your rental homes, your investment homes? And then, of course, my favorite, today's totally restructured reverse mortgage, which is not the reverse mortgage of years ago. It is, in fact, many people refer to it as the fourth leg of that financial stool. Please Google it. I know there's so many misconceptions out there. But again, my reverse mortgage company is licensed in 2 states, Florida and New Jersey. So to all my reverse mortgage brother and sisters out there, to your companies, I am looking either for a national reverse mortgage sponsor that wants to participate and have a link right on the 62 Who Knew website, as all the insurance partners will. So if someone listening to the 62 Who Knew show and watching doesn't depend on little Mike Banner and his 2 licenses, although I will get a few more licenses next year. So I'm looking for those national and regional conventional mortgage and reverse mortgage partners. We also have to talk about something that is so important, and I probably should have put it first. I want a national in-home care company to be part of 62 Who Knew. The idea that when things go wrong, mom and dad have to go to the home, the facility, is something that's been entrenched. Nursing homes, care facilities, aged care facilities, ACLFs, aged care living facilities. They've been entrenched into all of our minds in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. They popped up everywhere. The average cost of one of these facilities in larger metropolitan areas is between $7,000 and $12,000 a month. Okay? And yes, you get a bus and you get to go to the mall. If you're in Florida, you get to go to a casino. There's a need for this. I am not casting dispersions or a shadow on the nursing home or care facility world, because I want them as partners. But in my opinion, mom and dad or grandma and grandpa shouldn't go to those facilities unless it's for their own safety. Safety comes first. Mom and dad aren't ambulatory anymore. They can't cook for themselves anymore. Of course, a live-in facility is where they should be. But in most cases, people are going to those facilities way before that point in time, not realizing that there are staggering in-home care companies that can perform services in your house for a fraction of the cost of being in a facility. And as we all know, no matter what wake of life or part of life you're in, every survey, everything in the medical world proves that when mom and dad are home, when they're living home with the neighbors they know, the doctors close by, their children and grandchildren are there, they live longer. And that's what 62 Who Knew is about. Mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and you and I living longer. So I am looking for either a national in-home care partner for 62 Who Knew to help me get the word out there, or possibly several regional partners. And again, I am also looking for large chains of in-home care facilities. I hope I wasn't too negative on you in my last dissertation there, because you perform amazing services for people who need it. You take care of people that are not capable of taking care of themselves. And I don't think my 62 Who Knew client base is for you, but their parents are. And that's why I need you on my new website. We're now back on schedule, and we're going to take our, what is this, our third break? God, this is going fast. We're going to take our break and come right back.
One bee that loves going to the dentist.
I am to Dr. B.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time.
Come meet Dr. B.
They'll be calorie-free.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, my name is Mike Banner, and in addition to being the host of the 62 Who Knew television show, I am also the president of Professional Mortgage Alliance, where our passion is helping seniors entering retirement purchase their dream retirement home without the obligation of a monthly principal and interest payment. Please call me at 727-224-3859 or visit my website at professionalmortgagealliance.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Kennedy, your real estate expert here in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. I spent years developing myself, studying the industry so I can serve you and communicate with you the best way possible in your real estate transaction. My phone number is 941-807-2054, or please visit my website at lisamariekennedy.com.
Oh, we're back. How you doing? You caught me daydreaming. This is our last segment. I can't believe that we have 12 minutes left. We were going over the partners that I'm looking for, and I want to cover this quickly because these are going to be special partners, and I don't want to miss that part. But we talked about mortgages. We talked about all types of insurance, in-home care, outside care facilities, but there's so much more. Medical equipment that people may need, transportation to and from doctor's appointments, health, eating right, exercising right. I'd like a national or regional travel agency to be on 62 Who Knew. So when you want to take that cruise, you not only get the right cruise at the right price, but you get, again, a 62 Who Knew partner that will make sure that when you get to the dock for that cruise or wherever you may be going, whether it's an airplane or a ship, that it's done right. So I'd love to see travel. And there's so much more. In fact, I want to say to everybody out there, I know I'm probably leaving out many things. There's probably people out there going, why didn't he talk about this? Why didn't he talk about that? That's just as important to people 62 and above. And when you get older, your ego gets smaller. You learn to keep your mouth shut every now and then and learn from smarter people and learn from other people. So even if you're not interested in being part of the 62 Who Knew sponsorship family, but you're thinking I'm leaving something out, again, go to 62whoknew.com. Email me at mbanner@62whoknew.com and say, Michael, why aren't you bringing on a guest to talk about underwater basket weaving? Whatever it may be. Cooking healthy, tennis, golf. Then there's, of course, pickleball. But whatever it may be, if I'm leaving something out, please take the time to go to the website and drop me a note, or in fact, just email me at mbanner@62whoknew.com. If we could keep that up, John, for the rest of the show, that would be cool. Tell me what I'm missing. Tell me what you'd like to see. I want 2019 to be the year of 62 Who Knew. So in our remaining 8 or 9 minutes, now that I've mentioned all the things that we've done, now that I've thanked, I hope I did thank, all my incredible guests, now we want to talk about these partners for a second, because how are we going to go from 25,000 viewers a week to 200 or 250,000 a week? We're not in the TV guide. There's only so many posts you can do on Facebook and LinkedIn. So how are we going to increase our viewership by a factor of 10? How are we going to be able to help thousands, if not tens of thousands of people throughout the country with the needs that we discussed tonight and the future needs that we're going to be discussing on 62 Who Knew? There's only one way. These partners that I want to bring in, I'm talking to you now, you not only got to have the service, the integrity, the honesty, and the reputation that we're going to check out thoroughly to be a member of the 62 Who Knew community. You have to help us spread the word on this show. You have to have an active social marketing platform. You have to have followers on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We need our partners' help in spreading the word about 62 Who Knew. And nothing is better than having your partner singing your praises. You'll all have your links on our website. You'll all get business from it, but not if we don't expand our base. Okay? Imagine you being part of this television show. Many of you are going to be guests on this television show. The president of the company, or whoever it may be, of our larger partners are going to be guests, regular guests on this show. Your bio, your videos will be on the 62 Who Knew website. Imagine the advantages to you, and I'm saying this not arrogantly, but with confidence, because I know what having this television show has done for me the last 15 weeks. When I started the show, I was already a national reverse mortgage speaker. I had a presence. I've written for the Wall Street Journal. I've appeared on Fox News. I've appeared on Inman News, Inman Television, Inman Radio, various radio shows and television shows throughout the southeastern United States. I write for the Reverse Review, Senior Market Advisor. I really thought I was the guy. In the last 15 weeks, this studio in Port Richey, Florida, has given me more expansion, more has spread my reputation more in the last 15 weeks than I've done in the last 10 years. It's amazing. I did not start this thinking that was going to happen. So if the link of 62 Who Knew was on every one of my partners' websites, they have consumer-facing websites, on their LinkedIn page, on their Facebook page, on their corporate website. If they're an insurance agency, on every one of their agents' websites. Here, this is a TV show that I'm part of. How would it help your career? How would it help how many hits you got if you were not only part of this when we're sending you a client, but including yourself in it, including sitting right here next to me, as many guests have, or beaming in from wherever you are, because of course we have the technology to do that. So it's not just I want a great reverse mortgage partner on the West Coast of this country. I want a great reverse mortgage partner on the West Coast with a presence that knows what to do with the power of the show to increase our market share. The same thing for a long-term care provider, an annuity provider, a life insurance provider, an in-home care provider. The list goes on and on. But don't just be our partner. Help us grow the 62 Who Knew community so we can service more and more and more people. That's what I'm looking for. So tonight's show number 16, was incredibly self-serving. Yes, I know that. But I'm proud of what we've accomplished here. And I not only want to thank the guests that have been on, again, national figures that gave an opportunity to a little unknown entity like this, but I also want to thank this TV studio itself, Mr. John Gaston, who is the president and producer of several of the shows. Well, he's the producer almost of all of them on WeBeam TV, and there's some great shows on this TV station, not just mine. And while we're talking about that, just this past Thursday, 3 days ago, I was on a new television show called Focus on Business, a solid hour that focused on my business. We talked about my mortgage company. We talked about this television show, 62 Who Knew. We talked about my model of my mortgage company growing through 62 Who Knew and a blue ocean strategy that I have initialized. And in the last section, we talked about my obsession with the greatest generation, which I am obsessed with them, and the book that I wrote about my father called A Gift from My Father. And yes, on the new 62 Who Knew website, there will be a link so you can buy my book, 62 Who Knew. I know many of the people watching are not near us. Many are in Florida, but the great majority of our tens of thousands of viewers are not close. But let me say to the people that are close, you should do Focus on Business. You should contact Mr. John Gaston. Wait a minute, John's saying something to me. Okay, here we're going to do this different. You contact me at mbanner62whoknew.com. John gave me a very, very special price. I was told it's not professional to say the price on TV, but John gave me a very, very special price to feature me for an hour on his television show that was then put out through all of WeBeam TV social marketing. And he just told me that if people contact me and I make the email introduction, he will give you that same discount to have an hour show featuring you and your business. Take advantage of this, my friends out there, my entrepreneur friends, my real estate agent friends. I must have thousands of them. Have an hour TV show, 1 hour, dedicated to you, one time. Play it and play it. He'll break it up in segments for you, put it on your social marketing, my realtor friends, my mortgage friends, anything that you can. Take advantage of that right now. Call me, email me, and I will get you that special discount. It'll be the 62 Who Knew discount. We have, about how much time do we have left, John? Oh, God, not even 2 minutes. 1 minute and 30 seconds. See how that 30 seconds went? So, tomorrow, since we're being self-serving, I am having a class. I am one of the few people in the state of Florida that is accredited to teach licensed real estate agents about the purchase reverse mortgage. We talked about that on show number 8. And I am doing a 3-hour free CE class to real estate agents tomorrow in Palm Harbor at All Britain Title. I don't have All Britain Title's address memorized or written down. That's what type of host I am. So again, contact me at mbanner@62whoknew.com. And if you would like to attend my 3-hour CE class so you can learn how to sell homes to people 62 and above with no principal and interest payment for the rest of their life, join us at All Britain Title in Palm Harbor from 9 a.m. till noon. And then after, Ms. Cheryl Albritton, who is the president of All Britain Title, and myself are going to buy you lunch. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. So in the time remaining, which is not much time at all, I'm going to be repetitive. Thank you to my audience that's growing so quickly. Thank you to the incredible guests that have been on here. Thank you to Mr. John Gaston of WeBeam TV. And I hope, thank you to my future partners. I hope my idea of doing this works. I want to hear from a lot of you. Have a great week. See you next Monday.